Have you ever had that feeling, late on a Sunday night, when the noise of the week has finally faded? You're sitting in a quiet room, maybe looking out a window, and a cold wave washes over you. It's a question, but one without words. It just feels like, is this it? Is this really my life? You look at the pictures on the wall, the furniture you carefully chose, the reflection in the dark glass, and for a terrifying second, you feel like a guest in someone else's home. You are an actor who has been playing a part for so long, you've almost forgotten the real person behind the costume. But late at night, when the applause dies down, you can feel them. A stranger inside your own skin, quietly screaming. And you realise, with a slow, dawning horror, that everything you have is built on a foundation that isn't really yours. It's a life that looks right, that ticks all the boxes, but it feels profoundly, deeply wrong. The truth is, we don't just stumble into these lives. We build them. We are the architects of our own comfortable prisons. Think about it. It doesn't happen all at once. It's a slow, meticulous process, brick by tiny brick. The first brick might have been laid in childhood, when you learn that being quiet and agreeable earned you praise, while your wild, authentic emotions were met with disapproval. So you laid the brick of agreeableness. Another brick was the major you chose in college. Not the one that set your soul on fire, but the sensible one your parents approved of. The one that promised a stable future. That's a heavy, solid brick. Then came the job. Pays the bills. It has a good title. It looks impressive on a social media profile. But the work itself feels like you're digging a hole and filling it back in every single day. Each morning you put on the work uniform. You are laying another brick. The relationship that was convenient, the one that made sense on paper, the one that kept the loneliness at bay, even though it starved your heart of real connection. Brick. The white lies you tell, not to deceive others, but to make life smoother. Yes, I'm fine. No, it's okay, I don't mind. Of course, I'd love to. Brick, brick, brick. Each one is a small compromise, an edited version of yourself you present to the world to get approval, to avoid conflict, to maintain the status quo. We think we're building a fortress, a safe place to live. But one day, you wake up and realise you've walled yourself in. You're pacing inside a structure you built with your own hands, and you can't find the door. The air is stale. The light is dim, and you're desperately, suffocatingly alone with a version of you that isn't real. Here's the most curious part, the part that touches on the very architecture of how things work. Maintaining this false structure requires an incredible amount of energy. It's not a passive state. You are actively holding up the walls of this prison every single moment of every single day. This is why you're so tired. It's a fatigue that no amount of sleep or coffee can fix. It's a soul-deep exhaustion. Think of reality as a flowing river. Your true self, your truth, wants to flow with that river. It's effortless, it's natural. But the life you've built is like a dam you've constructed, right in the middle of it. You have to constantly patch it, reinforce it, fight the immense pressure of your own nature wanting to break free. That constant resistance, that bracing against your own truth, is what drains your life force. It manifests as anxiety, as depression, as that low-level dread that hums beneath the surfaces of everything you do. It's your own being telling you that the structure is unstable, the blueprint you're using is wrong. You are fighting the very nature of how reality is set up, which always moves toward authenticity. It's a fundamental law like gravity. You can fight it for a while, but it's a battle you can't win. And this brings us to the central paradox, the one that keeps us trapped. We stand inside our carefully constructed lives, and we feel the tremor of our own truth rising up from within. And we are terrified. We think, if I speak this truth, if I admit I'm not happy, if I finally say what I really want, it will destroy everything. We imagine a bomb going off, the job gone, the relationship shattered, the family disappointed, the friends alienated. We see a wasteland, a pile of rubble where our life used to be. And the fear of that destruction is so immense that we choose to stay in the prison. We choose the quiet suffocation over the terrifying explosion. But here's the thing we fail to see. The lie is already a bomb. It's just a slow motion one. It's been detonating quietly inside of you for years. It's not a future catastrophe you're trying to avoid. You are living in the middle of the wreckage right now. The destruction is already happening. It's destroying your spirit, your vitality, your connection to life itself. It's the constant grinding erosion of your soul. Every time you smile, when you want to cry, you're turning a piece of yourself to dust. Every time you say yes, when your whole body is screaming no, a support beam in your inner world cracks. Living the lie isn't preserving anything. It is the slow, methodical demolition of the person you were born to be. The fear is a trick. It makes you focus on the potential loss of external things, the house, the car, the social standing, while distracting you from the certain loss of the most important thing you have, yourself. So the real question isn't whether your truth will destroy everything you've built. The real question is, can you afford to keep living in a building that is already collapsing on top of you? Can you continue to patch the walls while the foundation turns to sand? You stand at a crossroads, not between safety and destruction, but between two different kinds of destruction. One is the quick, clean fire of truth, which clears the land for something new and real to be built. The other is the slow, damp rot of falsehood, which consumes everything from the inside until nothing of value is left. You are the only one who can decide which path to take. You feel it, don't you? That silent choice, presenting itself every single day in 100 small moments. The choice to lay another brick, or to finally put the hammer down. By the way, our shared space of light and awareness is on its way to 100,000 people. Thank you to everyone who subscribes and brings this moment closer. And so you choose the fire. You decide that the slow rot is no longer an option. What happens next is what most people misunderstand. They expect an argument, a negotiation, a battle with their old life. But your truth isn't an opinion. It's not a point of view to be debated. It's a force of nature. It operates on a completely different level. When you finally speak it and begin to live by it, it doesn't argue with your old life. It simply makes it impossible. Think of it like this. Your old life was a room kept in complete darkness. You knew every piece of furniture by memory. You could navigate the shadows perfectly. Your truth is not a new piece of furniture you add to the room. Your truth is someone walking over to the wall and flipping on a bright, clean light switch. What happens to the darkness? It doesn't fight. It doesn't argue. It doesn't run and hide in a corner. it simply ceases to exist. It was never a thing in itself. It was only the absence of light. Your lies, your compromises, your masks. They are the same. They are not solid structures. They are shadows created by the absence of your authentic self. The moment you bring your true self into the light, the shadows just disappear. The job that was built on your pretense of caring suddenly becomes unbearable. Not because it changed, but because you did. The conversations in that relationship, which used to be survivable, now feel like you're speaking a foreign language. The entire structure of the old reality dissolves, because the foundational assumption, your falsehood, has been removed. It cannot stand. This is a fundamental mechanic of how our reality works. It's not magic, it's a form of spiritual physics. Reality constantly seeks coherence. It rearranges itself to match the strongest, truest signal. For years, your strongest signal was fear and compromise. Now it's truth, and everything must and will realign around that new centre of gravity. This is where the apparent destruction begins. The relationships, the jobs, the situations that fall away. This is the part we fear the most. We see it as loss. We grieve it. But you must understand what is actually happening. Those connections were never with you. They were connected to the mask. They were latched onto the false persona you were projecting. The friend who only valued you because you were a reliable sounding board for their negativity wasn't friends with you. They were friends with your silence. The partner who loved you for being predictable and stable didn't love you. They loved the sense of control your persona gave them. When you take off the mask, they look at you and no longer recognise the connection point. And so they fall away. It feels brutal, but it is actually an act of profound energetic hygiene. Reality itself is clearing a path. It is removing everything that is not in resonance with who you have declared yourself to be. Each person who leaves, each opportunity that dries up, is not a rejection of you. It is a confirmation that your truth is working. It's a signpost from the universe saying, confirmed, this connection is no longer valid for your new blueprint. Clearing space. We're all part of a vast, interconnected network. Imagine every person is a musical instrument, playing a certain note. For years, you were pretending to be a C sharp, to fit into an orchestra of C sharps. It was exhausting, and you were always slightly out of tune. The moment you decide to play your true note, let's say you're an F minor, the C sharps will suddenly find you dissonant. They will move away, seeking harmony elsewhere. But something else happens. Across the vastness of the network, other F minors who have been playing their note all along will suddenly hear you, and they will start to gravitate toward you. People, opportunities and situations that are in perfect harmony with your true self will begin to appear in your life, seemingly out of nowhere. It will feel like a series of fortunate coincidences, but it is just the network re-establishing its natural, resonant connections. The collapse of the old is the clearing of the airwaves, so you can finally hear your real music. The deepest fear, though, the one that paralyzes us, is the fear of our own annihilation. This is the great illusion. You are not the building, you are the architect. The fear comes from mistaking your identity for the structure you built. You think, I am a manager, I am a husband, I am this collection of habits and routines. So when the walls of that life start to shake, you think you are falling apart. You feel the terror of ceasing to exist. But you existed before the building, and you will exist after it. You are the consciousness that dreamed it up in the first place. The destruction of your old life is not your death. It is your liberation. It is the moment the architect finally gets to walk out of the flawed, crumbling building they've been trapped in for years. You walk out of the dust, blinking in the sunlight, covered in grime, but for the first time in a long time, you're standing on solid ground. The rubble at your feet isn't a tragedy. It's raw material. The empty space isn't a void to be feared. It's a clean slate. This is a moment of true creation, because now you can build something real. You can build a life not on the shaky ground of other people's expectations or your own fears, but on the bedrock of your own truth. Every choice you make from this point forward will be a brick that is aligned, solid, and true. This new house may be smaller at first. It may be simpler. It may not look as impressive to the neighbours. But it will be a place where you can breathe. It will be a place where the light gets in. It will be a place that feels, finally, like home. Because its foundation is made of the one thing that can never be destroyed. You. The courage to be the wrecking ball for your own life. It's the courage to finally trust the architect inside. It's the understanding that what is true can never be truly destroyed, and what is false was never really there to begin with. You are just clearing away the ghosts. If this video changed something in you, here, write in the comments, "My truth is my foundation." Write it as your promise. Nobody